Hey everybody, Mike Steele here with Barbecue Champs Academy Live. I got Mr. Lee Hickle in the house with us today. We're
Going
kind of hope.
on.
Hey, not too much, brother. How you doing?
And it's a great Tuesday. I mean,
Yes, it is. Yes, it
perfect.
is. Man, we had a big show last week, that's for sure, and I think we're going to have even a bigger show this week. So,
We got some
man,
big
I'm
time guests
excited.
on tonight. Big time
Yeah,
guests.
yeah, we do. Got Mr. Robert Smith, First Class Barbecue. Man, Robert is on a flip and roll. Got grand champion number 5 this weekend for the state
Unbelievable.
championship stuff.
It's only
So two
February.
away. Yeah, two away. He's got 7 months. So
Hmm.
I'm not betting against the guy. I'll put it like that. So,
No
and
way.
anyway, so, and also we got Brian and Ellen Jarvis, the owners of the
Oh,
Atlanta BBQ Store. And super excited. We had Brian in the comments last week commenting in our stuff and was like, man, we got to get him
mhm.
on here. So
He's an avid
anyway,
follower of Barbecue Champs Academy
oh
podcast. So
yeah,
we
yeah,
appreciate him for
absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, anyway, so it's going to be a good show. We're missing Aaron. Aaron's having some technical difficulties tonight. He's trying to figure out what the heck he was on. We seen him, but he was having some issues in the background, so we're not sure exactly what's going on. But he said he's trying and he's working on it. So hopefully, we're going to have Aaron here shortly.
I hope
Uh,
so.
we have to get that trivia question answered that
He's
he
got the
asked last
answer.
week. He's got the
Yeah.
answer, and we don't know what the answer is. And I don't know. We had probably 100 comments last week of somebody trying to guess it. So anyway, we got a few folks coming on here. We got Mr. Chance. Thank you for being here. Mr. John up there in Wisconsin. Appreciate you being here. Emmeline, thank you for being with us from
Yeah.
Ohio. We got Mr.
All the
Darren.
Ohio. Yep.
Yeah, I got Mr. Mark. Got Mr. Danny Titus. Danny, it was great seeing you. And this weekend, and it was just absolutely awesome. I wished you could have actually cooked. And thank you for Miss Rhonda for cooking me Miss Maida's incredibly good pecan muffins. I already knocked out the whole bag
Hmm.
before we left.
Too
So,
much for your
uh,
diet.
oh, they were good. I didn't care. So, anyway, let's see. Don't know that trivia answer. Yeah, don't worry. Nobody else knew the answer either. So, Kyle, appreciate you being with us. It's great seeing you this
Yeah.
weekend. I think he had a second or a third brisket down
Oh,
at the BCA competition. Jason, he had the first place turkey down there. And in case if you're wondering what's going on, we cooked the BCA competition down in Bow Bridge, Louisiana this weekend. It's a T. Wayne Memorial. T. Wayne was an incredibly good cook. He only cooked select briskets, and he would go up against all the guys that was cooking prime briskets back in the day, and he would wear you out with the select. So he passed away a few years back, and in honor of him, the tradition to continue to go, we got one select brisket, we got two, well, I guess you could call them small turkeys, and we got
okay.
2 racks of ribs, and that's what we got. And I had a select. And I was the one picking out the chicken, so I tried to give everybody at least something that was 5.5 pounds or less, and everybody else was 6.5, 7 pound turkeys. They were
Hmm.
monsters. They were beyond chickens. And I remember Jason came up. He was like, "Man, I got a 6.5 pound chicken." I told him, I said, "Man, that chicken must not have been too bad. You got first place with it." So anyway,
Right.
it was a lot of fun, and man, we had a good time. Can't wait to get back down there. RJ, we appreciate you being here. Mr. Michael, glad to have you with us. There's Mr. Travis, came back for just the answer.
That's the
Looking forward
answer.
to the show. Well, I hope we can get it. Aaron was on for just a second. He's back in the background, but we don't have him on camera yet, so he's still working on it. Adam, thank you for being here. Lance, appreciate you being with us. Gabe, thank you for joining us tonight. Mr. Eddie from Weatherford, Texas. Man, I know y'all got a big competition coming down there, and that CBA event pays outrageous amounts of money. Let's see, I was one of the lucky ones to get a
Okay.
sub 6 pound bird. Well, thank you. I picked everybody to get one bird that was about 5.5 pounds, and the other bird was going to be gigantic. That was just the way it was going to be. So that's the one I didn't cook, of course.
Right.
All right, look who made it. Up, up.
Yeah,
He's
I'm here.
polishing it
I'm
up.
here. I'm
There's the
polishing it.
Mhm.
man. All
Yeah,
right.
I bought a camera, a laptop. I got a microphone now, and all this stuff. It was working last Tuesday when I put it together. I mean Wednesday when I put it together. And now I moved it over here to the office, and I can't get it to work. So
There you go. That's all right.
I can
Well,
hear y'all. I can't use the mic. I don't know, something's going on.
hey, we can hear you fine
We
as
can
long
hear
as you
you.
can hear us. That's all that counts.
Yeah, I
Mr.
can hear
Russell,
you.
we appreciate you being here. Mr. Tyler,
There
we
you go. Get
appreciate
those
you being
ribbons in
here.
the camera. Move them over a
Oh,
little
yeah,
bit.
let me
Yeah, get them
adjust all
lined
that.
up. Get them
I
Come
got
lined
you.
on.
up. That's for
Yeah.
Heaven
sure.
forbid.
Anyway, well, man,
I
we
got all
got
my trophies behind me. It's the bathroom.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's
that's
about
it. That's it. All right, Aaron. Well, I'm glad you're here. We still have the trivia question that we have not got the answer to yet. So we're going to be back for that here at the end of the show. Yeah, and we had 100 people try to answer it last week, and nobody could ever get it, or at least 100 guesses. So Travis said he's back just to find out who it is. And in the meantime, it's time to kick this thing off. We got 30,000 folks on here. So, man, I don't know. I don't think this guy needs much introduction. You know, he's a 1, 2, 4, 6. He's got ships. Let's just put it like that. We had a great time filming that class, and this big guy right here knows all about the ships. If you bought the Barbecue Champ Academy class from Robert Smith that was released last month, you'll hear us talking a lot about ships. And Robert, it is great to have you, brother. Congratulations on a huge weekend.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I appreciate it. It's like I said, it's always fun whenever you're on top.
Yeah. It is. When you're on top, it makes it nice. That's for sure.
Yes.
Robert, man, you have been doing absolutely amazing job. You had an epic run last year. You came up just one short of the jack, and I know you was trying hard there at the end of the year to get it. Man, you came out guns a-blazing when August reset. And, man, here you are already at number 5 with 7 months left to go. I wouldn't bet against you. I can tell you that. I think you probably like your odds. So you never want to jinx it. But, man alive, I don't think Robert Smith has ever went on a 5 or 6 month slump of not having a GC. So
we were chasing it last year, and we decided we were going to chase it, and we weren't going to chase points, and we wound up falling one short there in July, and realized that August, September, and October and November to chase points. So we went back and looked at our the year that we won the world in CBA. We went back and we realized that we only had 6 GCs and 4 reserves. So I said, well, I don't think anybody's ever done 10. So we went ahead and put the hammer down and decided, just heck, we took the month off in August just to reset and just to kind of get our bearings together and go ahead and start chasing points. And we went back, and when we went back, we hammered down, and it was we hit 4 GCs in a row. And it felt good because it was one of those deals where we took the month of August off and just stopped.
Right.
Because I went back and looked at some of my boxes that I was turning in closer to the end of the points chase, and they were just terrible. We were putting stuff in the box that we shouldn't have put in the box, and you guys always hear me talking about a lot of time about forcing things,
right?
And we were forcing things to put in the box when we really should have just done a half chicken. We really should have just done brisket slices.
Right.
We were forced there toward the end of the year, so that month of August we let off, and then we come back in it and started in September, and we just hammered on it and haven't let up yet. So we wound up finishing all the way going up to I think the point chase ended in November, I think, Aaron, and we wound up with 8 GCs for the year and 2 reserves.
Wow, man, that's a heck of a year, Robert. I mean, that is one heck of a year.
It was pretty close to the other one in 2021. I think it was, whenever I had 14.
Oh yeah, that was a year that I don't think will ever be touched. I think you had 19 grand in reserves that year or something. It was
and I had 5 reserves.
5 reserves, yeah. It was crazy. So that was one heck of a run. So, well, I know you're excited, and man, we're really happy for you. Let's talk a little bit about your class real quick. We just released this class. We had this class shot for some time. We were just kind of really waiting on the timing. We had it kind of everything ready. Robert, we're going to have to talk about these dumps, man, because, the biggest thing was we was waiting on dumps to get ready. I was waiting on Robert to tell me. He was waiting on me. And he finally got the dumps. He finally got the dumps ready. And then once he got the dumps ready, well, then we were so late in the year.
It says I'm still in the show.
You're there. Yeah, we can hear you, Robert, but just the screen's locked
I
up.
can't see them.
Uh-oh.
I can see Aaron. Yes, I
Can
can
you?
see Aaron. Now Aaron's gone. Oh,
There he is. Can you see us?
I can see y'all now. The only person
Okay,
I can
good
see was
deal.
Aaron.
Okay, good deal. All right. So I know that the biggest holdback, we was just waiting on the dumps to get made, and his dumps are really
Right.
cool. Tell us a little bit about your dumps that you made and the thought process behind them, because it was really cool when we was doing the class.
So, the thought process for me was I always we always go to a contest and we make our injections at the contest, or we make them at home, or if you're smart, you make them at home. So I was just running into that. I would get maybe about 2 to 3 contests in, and whenever I would get 2 to 3 contests in, my ingredients were hard as a rock, and I could be consistent with those 1 or 2, 3. And then once I went 1, 2, 3, it was kind of like it would turn around and would go the opposite direction. I would start falling off. So I went back and, man, I started checking the pH and some stuff, and starting, after I made my injections, and I could definitely tell that once my injections were open, they were losing their potency. It just wasn't. It didn't have the that they have. And of course, I wasn't storing mine in probably like places. I was storing them in the refrigeration, and man, they would just stay in the damn trailer, and it just it showed. So what I did was I wanted for me to be more consistent as a cook. I had to make my process more consistent. So I came up with. I was actually out in. Let's see. They call it Walnut. I think it's Walnut Springs. They'll call it Nut. The Nut.
Uh-huh.
And I ran into a bunch of Cassie. Am I saying that right? Cassie chili guys.
Uh-huh.
So I ran into a bunch of those Cassie chili guys, and their process, whenever they would do something, they would just add a dump.
Right.
And they would move on to the next one, and they would add another dump. And I was like, well, hell. I said, why don't we just make dumps? Why don't we just make one hitters and, put the process on the bag so that it's foolproof,
Right.
and you're getting a consistent product every single time, because it's not opened, it's sealed, and it's not clumping up on you. So whenever you go from this contest to the next contest to the next contest, if you have bags or 4 bags, they're all going to be exactly the same. It's not going to change.
All vacuum.
It's all
vacuum sealed. Yeah.
And I ran it. Remember, we were talking, and I ran it. Had it in little bowls. Just these little bowls. That's what the Cassie guys use. It was in a little bowl that was sealed. I'm gonna tell you, you get that thing sealed with that little rubber deal and that little heat strip, man, you play hell getting that thing off.
Right.
So
right.
we had to go back to the drawing board, and I started out with the bags. Whenever I started out with the bags, I had a label on the front, and then I had the instructions on the back. And I was paying, I think I was paying 20 cents for. I was paying 20 cents for the bag. I was paying 15 cents for the sticker on the front, and I was paying 15 cents on the back. Well, you don't think that that's a lot, but whenever you're doing, it adds up. And guess what? Those are garbage bags.
Yeah.
They're made to throw away.
Right.
So I went back, and I told everybody, I was like, look, I said, monkey, that's enough. Stop. Yeah, there's some. All right. So I went back and looked at it, and I said, well, man, why am I worried about people reading the damn label? It's already on there. It's just going to be, So
right.
I one sticker. Now the label and the instructions and everything is on the bag, by the bag going. And it was a way for me to, number one, to save a little bit of cost on the back end. And, save the consumer, guys, because man, I really thought it was going to be something that the guys use that are kind of maybe once or twice, a month or once every 2 months.
Right.
But the feedback that I'm getting off of this product, it just is just
One and done. They loving it.
And it's changed the game. It's
Yeah.
totally changed it, because I've got competitors right now that they're running it, and they're running it every damn weekend.
Right.
And it's so freaking simple. The instructions are on the bag. It's one hitter, and guess what? It makes you a whole lot more of a consistent cook.
Yeah.
So can we get these dumps only through you or through some type of barbecue supply store like the Atlanta BBQ Store or somewhere?
So they're so you have them at every place in Texas that I know of, right? Well, I say the 4 stores that I call them, the 4 stores. The 4 stores for me are Chuck and Vanessa, Lone Star, Barbecue Store, and of course Baylor Backyard.
There you go.
Those are the 4 stores that I really know about.
Right.
So those 4 stores all have stock in the product. Now, do they have stock right now? I started out putting the I didn't know it was going to go. So every store started out with 2 cases, and now we've known that that doesn't work. The barbecue
That ain't
store
enough.
alone over here across from they go through probably 10 to 12 cases a week. Baylor Backyard goes through 2-3 cases a week. We've been selling. So whenever we started, we were selling about I don't know. We're probably selling 75 to 100, and I think right now we're up to 250 to 300 a week.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
it's a great product, and it works. It works for everybody. I feel like it takes in. We, as cooks, and you guys know, there's so many damn things out there that we can't control. If we can eliminate one of those, man, it just makes you a better cook.
right.
And your
right.
dump is for what? What protein's that for? Brisket?
So I have. They're all 3. So you have brisket, ribs, you have brisket, pork, and you have brisket, pork, chicken, and then we also have a chicken brine.
Yep.
So,
Wow.
it is my complete recipe on Barbecue Champs. You go through there and it tells you exactly. You pull the bag out. It shows you everything on the bag. Shows you exactly what to do. It's all on the bag.
Yep.
Well,
I know they're working.
One of those deals where it's just yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean,
Yes,
Humble Rodeo, 120 some teams at Humble. You was grand champion. You had Shane on there that had reserve grand champion. You said the guy that took your class was 3rd, and you had another guy that had bought the class online or there. So the top 4 in Humble all was running your product, your recipes. So that tells you something.
There was a whole bunch more, just because,
right.
I mean, hell, if stores ain't got it, somebody got it.
Yeah. yeah, that's for sure. I know you has sold a lot of classes already. And I mean, I was like, when can I get the dumps? Because they're out. And I was like, be patient. Everybody bought everything you had. So, and I saw you had a huge box of them back in stock now. So I would suggest you go ahead and order again because you're going to need them. So I think we got
Edward Oaks. He's a great competitor. He does a lot of IBCA. He's a great competitor. And he called me last week and he said, Robert, he said, the store's out. And I said, how come the store? I said, I don't think the store's out. He said, yeah, they're out. And I said, well, how do you know that? And he said, because I just bought every one of them.
Yeah. And then on top of that, you got all the people at Barbecue Champs that are buying classes like crazy. And they're not buying one. They're probably buying 3 or 4 because they got to have a month's supply, Robert. So,
I told him, well, how come you're buying all of them? He said, if they ain't got it, they can't beat me.
Gosh, that's hilarious. Oh my goodness. Well, if y'all are interested, if you want to know what he does, his class on Barbecue Champs Academy, and he's literally had people that have went to the class, and I mean, it's absolutely identical to what he did in his in-person class and what's on Barbecue Champs. He made sure of that. He said when he came in here and filmed that, which was way before his in-person class, because like I said, he didn't even have the dump. We was on the class filming them in containers, and when they came out, they were in bags. So we had to make the change, literally, because it was in a little container, and he was like, this is going to be it. And by the time the class came out, it changed. So we had to kind of make some edits to show you it's in a bag now. But it's 100% what he's doing in his in-person class was 100% exactly what his class was on Barbecue Champs. And it shows because we've had people that's rolled out taking the in-person class and kicking butt and taking names as well. So bbqchamps.com, scroll down to Robert Smith. It's his old videos are no longer on the website. This is 100% his new stuff. So it's there.
Cam actually reached out to me, I think, night before last, and he was like, man, did you tell everybody you're running sauce? And I said, I may have. And he said, well, I'm going to need you to slow down a little bit. He's because I keep it on the shelf.
I know it. It's funny. A lot of times I'll have to call these guys and let them know, like, hey, guys, we're fixing to release a class. You might want to make sure you got plenty of this stuff in stock because you're going to need it. So I don't know how many classes you've sold so far, but it's been quite a few in the first 3 weeks. So anyway, well, we'll talk a little bit more about your season and everything else. And, man, you've had a really good year. And we're going to talk a little bit about what you got planned for this year. But in the meantime, we've got a couple other folks that are sitting back here that are no strangers to barbecue. And at some point in time, man, we might can persuade them to roll on here and get a little bit of your product as well. But we've got Brian and Ellen Jarvis. They are the owners of the Atlanta BBQ Store. Guys, gal, we appreciate y'all being with us tonight as well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us on. I mean, this is great. I love it. Love listening to it, and can't wait to hear more about this dump you got going.
Yeah, it hasn't made its way over here, so we might need to get hooked up.
Yeah. So Jarvis, last week, you was Jarvis. Why am I calling you? Brian, last week when you was, like, this is the box guy. If you're needing cutting boards, Robert, this is the guy that can make cutting boards. He can make boxes. He can make them by the thousands. So if you need a killer deal on 1,000 cutting boards, Brian is your guy. So, yeah, y'all can become very good friends. So, and on top of that, he's got a pretty big barbecue store if you haven't known anything about the Atlanta BBQ Store. So maybe it's time we slide that stuff that away. So
we have a lot of Texas products and they do really well. So
yeah.
I've actually before the barbecue store kind of went in across the street from the office. We used you guys a lot. So
we appreciate you. We got Aaron. Aaron, we got your product in the store.
Oh yeah, Brian, Ellen, nice to meet you. Nice to see you guys.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to be rude. I wasn't going to step in there and say, "Hey guys, what's going on?"
Hey, we've got Aaron in the doghouse. He was late coming on the show.
You can't put Aaron in the doghouse.
No, you can't.
I don't fit in the doghouse.
Yeah, he'll kick it out. That's for sure. So anyway, but yeah, it is really great to have y'all on. And Brian, it was really nice to have you on our podcast. Well, you was in the comments commenting a lot last week, and I was telling Lee, I was like, man, we got to get Brian on here. And he was like, anytime, let me know. And yesterday I was like, man, see if we can get Brian on here. So,
and Hickle calls me, I'm going to do whatever Lee Hickle asks me to do.
There you go.
That guy's, a great man. He's done a lot for us. He did an East Coast tour a couple of years ago. Got to know him real well. We did a barbecue class for the Atlanta BBQ Store Classic, our first one. And Lee was gracious enough to come out and teach ribs at that class, and just been a great friend ever since, and just a good guy. But Robert, I can tell you right now, I always tell people, if you're not going to a barbecue contest with brand new rubs, buy brand new rubs every contest from the Atlanta BBQ Store. You're guaranteed to up your
game. I love it.
That's it.
That's it. That is awesome. Well, I know Ellen will be there ready to ship them out because every time I've called, man, she is Johnny on the spot of getting stuff ready and getting it shipped out. So
No, she's always Ellen's good about it. Like they're having a class, man. She gives you an email. Hey, this is what we're going to go on. We're going to go ahead and order this right now. We need to get it here so we can get have it ready for the class. So she's really good about it, trying to
oh yeah,
get everything she needs there and let you know ahead of time that she will place another order.
Well, we can tell you real quick that Ellen is the Atlanta BBQ Store.
Yes,
she is amazing. She is the best in the business. I'll say that.
Yeah,
she's the bride, so I'm fortunate.
He's flattering me.
Yeah, no, he's speaking the truth because while he's over there playing with boxes, you're getting stuff shipped out. So
right.
he's bringing you the boxes to ship stuff out. So
I mean, when you Google on Facebook Atlanta BBQ Store and you get a phone number, it's Ellen's cell phone.
That's right.
You are in direct ties right to Ellen the entire time.
That's it.
100%.
Oh, goodness gracious.
So tell us, I mean, what are you? Where are you? How'd you get in the barbecue? How'd you get into Atlanta barbecue? What did you do to get where you are now to be successful in the barbecue part of it?
Man, what a story we have. Golly, I go all the way back, but we got into competition barbecue, and it was something my buddy bought a Komodo Joe grill, and I was like, oh, that looks kind of fun. I'm gonna go. And then I looked at it, I was like, man, that thing's tiny. I don't think you can cook anything on that thing. So then we ended up doing research and found Lang barbecue smokers, bought a Lang. And then through all the research, I found barbecue contest and did our first barbecue contest, National Barbecue Cup, which is there in Cumming. It's actually the place where we do our contest now. Finished 11th out of 80 something teams in our first contest. And I was looking at the back of the sheet, trying to figure out where the heck we were. And we ended up having a good time. Met a lot of great friends. And then we just went and cooked and met Randy Boswell. He actually started Atlanta BBQ Store. We became
Scotland, right? He was over in Scotland.
Well, he moved from Scotland in school and he came back here. And we just became really good friends. And we talked all the time and we were going back and forth. And he was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with this. I don't want the store anymore. And Ellen we were talking about her going back to work. And I was like, you know what? I can buy this thing and you can run it. You don't have to go. Cause we had 2 kids at the time and she was going to have to go back to work 3. At 3 kids at the time. We got a lot of them.
Well, you're Mormon, right?
Yeah.
So to preface, I was a teacher and we were in between moves and we were in a rental and I was doing online teaching and the internet connection was not strong enough. The bandwidth wasn't strong enough. So I could not continue teaching. And so then that's when Randy asked him one more time, hey, I think it would be great if you took on this store. And I'm like, well, I don't know anything about rubs and sauce, but I can put them in a box and ship them. So
we got boxes. That's easy.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Why not? Let's do it.
There you go.
Then we took over the store, and that's big, and it's come a long way. We've ended up, man, I think we have more rubs and sauces than anybody. There's not, I would say there's not a barbecue store out there that can compete with what we have. And with this, and with the service that we are an e-commerce store, so we do not have a storefront, which helps. It helps us to be able to carry a whole lot of stuff. And it's just gone from there. So we started cooking. We competed. I don't get to compete much, but we hold our own when we are out there. I get to go to the Royal, see a lot of you guys at the Royal. It's a ton of fun. And then I guess 3 years ago, I was talking to Lee when he was doing his East Coast tour, and we were talking about, man, we need to host a contest. Barbecue's been really good to us. Barbecue's been awesome to us. And then the barbecue family is absolutely amazing. And we're like, man, we need to give back. We're losing contests and here in Georgia, and we wanted to put on a contest. So we started the Atlanta BBQ Store Classic about 3 years ago. And it's becoming, in KCBS world, it's becoming a good event. We're doing everything we can to make it be good for cooks, be good for judges, be good for the community. We've been able to give away $40,000 to $50,000 over the past 3 years. So that's what it's been all about to us. And through that, man, we have made a lot of friends. We've got to know a lot of people. We have some of the best cook teams that we sponsor. And we're just proud of it. I just became a certified judge last week. And if anybody's watched, I also do a podcast on Monday nights called Chewing the Barbecue Fat. If anybody's watched that over the past week, you heard about my experience with that barbecue class.
I'm glad you swept over to class real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a disaster, needless to say. And so last night we had a show on with some judges and talking judges, and our goal, just like you, Mike, we're out here just trying to push barbecue, right? Like barbecue it's been really good to us. I'm no Robert, I'm no Aaron or Lee or y'all. I'm not any of that, but I do love barbecue and I love talking about it. And we can push it and we can do things as a group. We can make barbecue just amazing. And that's what I like to see.
They have
Gilchrist Trophy. Don't tell Robert when that competition is, because he's been known to jump in a truck and drive 20 hours to go to a competition. So if he finds out that the competition, knowing Robert, if he ain't got nothing more going on that weekend, you'll be there, won't you, Robert?
I'll be there.
It's in November.
Yeah.
It's November 14th and 15th.
Okay.
It's a KCBS contest, and as some of our friends will say, points in November count just the same as points in October.
That's right.
And if you're smart, if you're a cook that's really trying to win and you're trying to chase points, if you're not cooking at the beginning of the season, you're not going to win.
Yeah.
That's all you can say.
We had a team like the very last week call
from Texas
and say, give me information about this. I'm wanting to come. And he drove, I think it was 17 hours for him, and he showed up, cooked
Wow. That's crazy.
So what is so you do your Atlanta BBQ Store annual cook-off, but you have a fundraiser that you raise money for. So
we started through this. We started the Jarvis Foundation, and the Jarvis Foundation is something that, talking to Lee once again, he was integral in all this. But it was something that we wanted to do to give back to the community. We firmly believe the Lord's blessed us, and and all that we have, and what we've been able to do, and we just feel like we need to be able to give back. And giving back is something that really is integral to who we are. We have 3 young kids. Our kids are extremely involved in it. Micah, my middle son, he's our
trash guy.
He sells merchandise. Like, he's in the middle of it. My son, older son, he's right in the middle of it trying to get it. And then my daughter
did shuttle some judges and
Cole drives golf carts around. And I mean, it's so cool to see our kids getting in the middle of it and wanting to be a part of something bigger than them,
Right.
And that's what we're trying to make that contest be, bigger than just barbecue.
Yeah. That's cool. That's really cool.
The fundraising kind of connected right now with the barbecue classic. So through our People's Choice is where we raise the money to give back to the charity or charities.
Okay.
We did do a hurricane relief fundraiser as well when we were there, because Helene had just come through, and the one in Milton, the one in
Milton. Yeah.
And then the class, I guess, talking about it, and Lee, as you would say, like, we do that class, and I'm telling you, when I say we're blessed, we're blessed. We get cooks to come and teach class, and when I say we get cooks to come teach class, we have Hall of Fame. This year we had 2 Hall of Famers, probably the best cook in the Southeast, and then I had to do it. But
there's a funny story about that too. I don't know. We shared that.
They all do it for free. Right. They all come in and do it for free because they're trying to help
raise
out.
Money. Yeah.
And Lee, like I say, the first year I called him, I had somebody back out. And I was like, Lee, dude, I need some help. Do you mind? And I mean, it was, yes, I'm there. Stayed at our house, came and did things.
And did a great rib class, I have to admit, an exceptional rib class.
Amazing notes. I still to this day know people running that rib.
That's funny.
That you taught at that class.
That's
still
funny.
Doing very well with it.
Right.
Yeah, it's awesome when you can get the kids and stuff involved and stuff. And Robert has got two amazing young girls that will wear your butt out at a cook-off. So Monkey got first place in open. Hey, Monkey, I hope you're doing better. So she had first in open, didn't she?
Yeah, she hit first in open in her age category, and Bear hit first in her category in the open as well.
In the open as well. I mean, these girls are amazing. Both of them are. So it's not going.
He won the American Royal, the state contest 2 years ago.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
there
so.
you go.
And I'll tell you what. And Mike, the year before that, Micah was on the stage. Both my kids are on the stage at the Royal. I'm like, one of these days.
Yeah. One day you'll get there. Yeah, one of them deals. Well, that's awesome. Y'all are doing a lot of good
Robert,
stuff.
I bet you agree with me. There's nothing as many world championships as you have. You wouldn't trade a single one of them to watch what your kids did. I mean, I know for me, watching my kids do well is amazing.
And that's the thing is it aggravates me the most about going to contests and everything like that. And they have kids queues and they want to do them on Saturday morning, 10 o'clock.
Right.
Like, come on. Where are you? Can we have them on Friday or something? That way we can go watch. We can go enjoy. We're there on site, but if you have it at 10 o'clock on Saturday, we're messing with chicken.
Yeah, you're cooking. Ain't no way to do all that. So, wow, that's an awesome story. Well, Brian and Ellen, it's awesome to see what y'all are doing, and it's so cool. And you got something that you love to do, and you're passionate about barbecue, and you're doing everything you can on y'all's end to help it work and grow and everything else. And got a lot of people stuff in your store, in your warehouse shipping everything.
We got plenty of them.
So
that we got Aaron's product. If y'all need any of that, just call us. We get you shipped out right away.
Get you everything.
So can you give us one good secret that the KCBS judges are looking for that we should know in our boxes?
Man, I tell you what. Cook good, tender food. If there was anything we learned on our show yesterday is, I know y'all, I think y'all are mainly Texas guys, and I know y'all both cook KCBS, or all y'all cook KCBS too. The taste score is like 2.2, right? And the tenderness is 1.5 something, and the appearance is 0.5 something. But basically, if you're not cooking that food dead on tender, you're not going to score. And there's like a range in there on a 9 that can be all over the place, which to me was very encouraging to know that just because Lee, you like spicy, Aaron, you like sweet, and Robert, you like savory, right? As long as you nail that food, that tenderness, and it's good, solid barbecue, you're going to get a 9. And it's not, there's no preferential treatment on that. And that's, I think as a lot of cooks, we sit there and think, oh, we've got to do this, we got to do that. But if you cook, as they said, the matrix, like if you hit that matrix right, you're going to score well. And that was encouraging.
Yeah.
So are you finding food needs to be more overcooked now than it used to be for KCBS? Make it more tender and less of a bite?
No, I think so I think that does depend on where you are.
I think when you use the word "cook it more tender," you're talking to some guys that make it so mushy it's unreal.
Right. And I get
a little further than that, though.
But y'all are also I think there's a difference, right? Y'all are cooking for judges that are off the street that like fall off the bone ribs, that like they like that kind of. That's if you ask anybody what kind of ribs. I mean, we in that judges class, they're like, how many people won't fall off the bone ribs? And they're like, everybody raise their hand. I'm like,
right.
No, we're screwed.
Right. Yeah.
But like I believe, and as I said on our show last night, the tenderness affects flavor more than rubs, sauces, injections, anything else. If it's overcooked, you're going to dry it out and you're going to lose some of that flavor. If it's undercooked, you're not getting all that fat rendered out and you're not getting all the flavor in. So perfectly tender meat is going to taste better, in my opinion. And I don't know how that works in y'all's world, because I know you all do overcook some of it, or mush, whatever you do, whatever you call it.
Texas tender. What do you think, Robert? Where are you at on that, Robert?
So what we did, of course we cooked Seguin and we left Seguin and then we drove 17 hours. So we drove 17 hours out to Bullhead, Arizona, and did that KCBS out there. And we, of course, going to the Royal this year, and I noticed at the Royal that there was some people that were getting calls, and I seen some boxes that were just. So we'll leave it at that. So I was like, I wonder, and of course you guys. So Tim, I call him Timmy. So me and Timmy have been talking, going back and forth, talking about, is KCBS changing? And I hate to say that KCBS is changing. I believe that whenever I first started KCBS 12 years ago, those judges, no matter where you went, were brutal.
Yeah.
Them old timers would nail your ass. And I started, and when you went, damn sure, whenever you went to when you went to the Royal, you got nailed. I mean, you got now we just get nailed the first day, but the second day,
I love it. Now we just nailed the first day.
Right.
Yeah.
So the second day is kind of just one of those days. That's where you start seeing all them Texas cooks get them walks.
Right.
And it's just because the judges have changed. And I do feel like that now that I'm 10 years into cooking KCBS, or 12 years into cooking KCBS, that those older judges have gone they're kind of eased out. So I'm not going to say that it's changed, but I do feel like that it has relaxed a little bit.
Right. Do you think, Robert, since you said that, let me ask you this question, and it kind of, I think it does, but I just want to get y'all's opinion on this. Yeah, they were probably a lot stricter and stuff, right? They wanted more of this bite, blah, blah, blah. You just have to wonder how many of those people watching Barbecue Pitmasters, watching, Myron Mixon and Tuffy, and they go and they're biting that rib and they're pulling it and they want that bite. And, you see it all the time, and Suzette works in BCA. When we cook a BCA competition, she helps them in the judging area. Man, wear a plastic fork and a knife, and they're over there like, well, wait a minute, this thing here is coming off the bone too easy, or this brisket, they're wanting to pick it up and try to tug it. And she was like, well, wait a minute. This is not KCBS. We gave you the rules. You got a plastic fork and a knife. You're not judging that. They're making it tender enough that you can cut it. So they're even seeing that coming into the people off the street. Suzette's having to tell these people, this is not the barbecue, pit masters. These are real pit masters. It's cooking it tender so y'all can eat it with the plastic fork and knife. Quit trying to judge them. Robert, do you think that's what maybe has caused this? Yeah, but it's still on TV. I watched the whole series again. It's on every stinking week on America Destination. It's on every week. So what do you think, Robbie? You think that's probably why they're relaxing now, because maybe they're like, yeah, we need to get away from all that?
Well, and seeing whenever we've seen some of the scores and some of the boxes and everything, because I'm going to tell you what, back 12 years ago, whenever you were running in there and, I was Smokey D's and, and all them dudes up there were just hammering away. If your box, if your parsley box or whatever it was, if that thing didn't look like a putting green, man, you were done.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny you talk about that. That's a whole thing. Right?
Yeah. Back in the day, that was just how it was. If that thing wasn't just as smooth and just as clean, and you were pretty much done, because guess what? That means you didn't give a shit about your barbecue going in the box. Man,
wow.
I know. I've seen guys, they buy the chopped kale. Man, they'll pick out some of them big pieces and they just dump that shit in the box and put their meat on top of it.
And Lee, we've had conversations about this before at a certain class in Texas a couple years ago. The whole thing is if you have a perfect looking box, that judge is looking at it like, man, that's perfect. If you have a box that doesn't look as perfect and they taste the exact same, in their mind, the one that doesn't look as good scores better than the one that looks exactly perfect. So you're starting to see now people turning in boxes that aren't exactly perfect.
That's why ugly chickens win.
Right?
Because it looks like hammered dog shit, but it tasted so good.
Exactly. And in their mind, they're like, it can't be that good. And most of the time, they're going to give you I don't know how y'all's judges were. Most of the time, they're not going to knock you down for appearance.
Yeah, well, there's one very, very popular, and I don't really want to throw the name out there, but let's just put it like that. He kicks butt and takes name no matter where he goes on the KCBS circuit. And he told one of the cooks on Barbecue Champs one time, he was cooking with them, and he was like, when I go to put meat in a box, I am not trying to make it perfect, because if I try to make it perfect, the expectations are already so high that I'm already going to be under a microscope. So I would rather just kind of put it in the box and send it, as Robert would say, put it in the box. And he will not work on trying to get a perfect, pristine looking box, because he said you've already done set the bar too high and they're looking to nail you. So it's funny that he said that and you're coming around saying the same thing. What you saying, Robert?
And so what we did was, whenever we seen those boxes, when we left Seguin, I got talking with Guido. Of course, everybody knows Guido, and we're sitting there. So we got 16 hours to figure out what we're going to do when we get to this damn KCBS in Bullhead, Arizona. And I told him, I said, let's run two boxes the way we think they're supposed to be, and let's just run 2 boxes, just some good old barbecue and see what happens. And man, we hit them. So we ran our same rubs. Normally when we're running KCBS, we're changing stuff up and we're, trying to move some stuff around. And man, we ran our same chicken that we run here in Texas. And of course it was a thigh. And man, we had first place. It was a 179. So we ran our normal rib box that we run here in Texas, and it was a little too tender. And they got us. We had I think there was 59 teams and we were 30th. And we pulled out one of our pork boxes where we just did medallions. That's what we're doing here in Texas. Now we made them super, they weren't super tight, but man, we pulled them back a little bit. Man, they were fifth.
Right.
Brisket, we took it a little over. It was a little bit too far. And man, it was like 18th or 19th. So we realized that you can push the element a little bit and run your same flavors, your same profile, and everything like that. But just like what that gentleman said, you nail tenderness. And everybody knows. There was a gentleman 10 years ago told a friend of mine. He was like, "Good, look, you give me salt, pepper, and ketchup, and I'll whoop your ass in tenderness all day long."
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, let's take a timeout here real quick. All right, so now, Robert, you may know the answer to this question, so if you do, you can't say, okay? All right, Aaron Leslie last week dropped the trivia question, and we was 15 minutes after we normally get off, and people were still trying to guess it. So Robert, I'm sorry, Aaron, I want you to ask that trivia or throw. Can you see your screen, Robert? Can you see the comments? Okay.
No.
You cannot see them. All right. Can you? I want you to text me the winner, who it actually was. I think I remember, but I want you to text me the right answer, and I want you to go ahead and say.
Okay.
I want you to say.
Me?
Yeah. I'm talking about you. You're the only damn one that knows it.
If I text you the answer, then I'm going to have to get off my phone.
Oh, you can't text it now?
Well, I had to get off my computer.
No, you suck. All right. Well, I don't know how I'm going to do it. What if I text you? Will you know it?
I got it. Mike, I'll text it to you. I got it.
You got it? Okay. Did he text it to you? All right.
I don't know.
He can comment. He can type it in the comments.
All right. So here we go.
Coming your way, Mike.
All right. I think I know who it is. Let's see if this is right. That was it. All right. So here we go. Aaron, I want you to ask this trivia question. Whoever gets this question right, we're going to give you our 20 championship backyard barbecue classes.
Everybody
everybody, it'll unfreeze, Robert. Sit tight. We can hear you, Robert. There you go. Kiss the screen. All right. So Aaron's going to ask this question. Yeah, you're there, Robert. Don't go nowhere.
He's moving again.
Here we go. So
I love country life.
Yeah, I know.
No internet.
He has no internet.
All
right, so he has no internet. He lives out in the country. He has no internet service. So it'll come back, Robert. Don't go nowhere. We still see you. All right. So, Aaron, I want you to ask the question. The first person I see get it right is going to get
Can
our 20
anybody
championship
hear me?
backyard. Yes, we can. Yes. Oh,
That is the best part, Mike. Is that
all right, Aaron. Ask the question. First person that gets it right is going to get our 20 backyard barbecue classes.
I believe the question was, what barbecue team has reserved the San Antonio Stock Show Rodeo and granted the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo on the same weekend?
All right, so there's the question. What pitmaster grand championed and reserve grand champion the San Antonio Rodeo on the same weekend? Now, listen, it's the cook that actually cooked there this year. So now please don't be throwing out 25-year-old names or people that cooked a long time ago because they're not cooking. The person that granted and reserved it also cooked it this weekend.
Aaron, is this the only time they had a double?
It's the only time they had a double that I know of.
All right. Oh, there he's coming. He's coming back. All right, so it's out there. There he is, Robert. You there, buddy? Yeah. He's there. He's back. All right, so y'all just keep on and keep on. We had 50 people last week trying to answer it. So whoever can get this right is going to get our 20 championship backyard barbecue class. We may even see if Aaron can throw a bag of that dadgum.
I'll get some rooster juice in there.
We're going to get some rooster juice. That's what it was. You're also going to get some of his rooster juice. It's not a trick question. It wasn't like what it was when they won on Tuesday or whoever granted on Tuesday. This was a legit competition.
There's only one year, and I believe it was 2018.
You don't even give them no date. They're going to figure it out. So they grand and reserve the same weekend at San Antonio Rodeo. They grand and reserve the same weekend at the San Antonio. One night they reserved it, and the next night they grand it. And this was at San Antonio Rodeo. It's one person that did it, and the first person that gets it right, holy crap, we got a winner. Boom. Harold got it.
Yeah.
Wow. It was J.D. Henley.
200 people to ask that, to get an answer to that. In Buckshot Barbecue, J.D. Henley, Midland, Texas, is the only guy to ever reserve on a Friday night and GC on a Saturday night, Stock Show Rodeo.
There you go. There you go. All right, Harold. Robert, did you know that? I think Robert's locked up again.
He's awfully still.
He's awfully still. Oh, good. Yep, Buckshot Barbecue. That was it. All right. Yeah, don't worry, Robert. You're doing good, brother. He's locked up. Robert, hold your hand up real high and get the metal antenna out. So, all right. Yeah, there you go. I love it. Robert's such a fun guy. All right, Harold, I don't know if you've ever bought a class from us. If you have not bought a class, let me just do this. Harold, have you ever bought a class from us on Barbecue Champs? If you have, let me know, and it's super easy for me to add you to add the backyard barbecue class. And we'll wait on that. And then also, I haven't. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do, Harold. I'm going to put my email. Y'all give me just a second. Let me get this out to him. CBQ Champions, CBQCHIPIONS @gmail.com. Barbecue Champion, CHMPIONS. Did I spell that right? I got glasses on. I still can't see. He didn't get the question. All right, Harold, I need you to email me. I've got you. Email me your first and last name.
The damn question.
All right, I'm gonna give it to you, Robert. We know we have internet, Robert. Yeah, we'll tell you the story. All right, Harold, what I need you to do is email me your first and last name in the email and the email address you want me to link the class with. I'm going to take that, Aaron, and I'm going to forward it to you, and you can get his information. Put your address in there too, Harold, and then I'll send all that over to Aaron, and he'll send you the infamous rooster juice.
Unstable internet connection. Well, no shit. Move closer to the
all right, Robert, we got you, brother. This is awesome. We can hear him. He can't hear us. So,
that's the best, Mike. This is the best when you have guests on and you don't know what to do, and then you're just going with it. I mean, I love it.
This is awesome.
It's like we do it. Me and us three, me, Lee, and Mike do this almost every Tuesday night, right? Because Lee's always got something going on with his fiber and everything else. But it's kind of like he just kind of
Hey, are we good?
Yeah, you're good, Robert. Hey, I'm here now. Robert, we're having a blast over here.
Hey, he just moved that rabbit ears just a little bit, right? He just like Dad did with the old Magnavox. He just
That's
it
it.
a little bit under full.
Oh my
Robert,
gosh!
I'm used to it. The Chew over at Chew of the Barbecue Fat, where the dollar store of barbecue shows. Well, I'm used to it. I think you're doing a great job, buddy.
Yeah, I love it. So, Robert, I don't know if you heard the question. So, what it was: who is the only person to get a reserve grand champion and a grand champion weekend? J.D. Hentley was the answer. He reserved it on a Friday night and he granted it on a Saturday. So, there we go, and he's locked up again. Oh, poor Robert. You there, Robert? Okay, there we go. All right, we got you now. There we go. So anyway, glad you won it.
Damn light on is up there.
Yeah, that's it.
See, I got a live button.
There you go. You're live, so you're good. Who won Granite Morganson 20? Winner gets a half bottle of Blanchard's Blanco seasoning. I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna have to leave that another time, Jason. So. Anyway, well, that was awesome, and Aaron, that was a great question. I'm surprised we didn't have 300 people commenting on that like we did last week because nobody could figure it out.
I'm gonna tell you, it was my messenger blowing up.
It
was.
It was.
Oh my gosh, hey man, who is it? Has anybody answered the question yet? Just over and over and over again. Finally, I just quit looking at them. So
yeah, that's it. All right, Harold.
Jason Pettis has a question on.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that because I can't get into that one. I don't know the answer, and it ain't going to work. And I know this. I went down there. It wasn't me. It was probably Jason that won it. Right. So, all right, Robert. Let's talk a little bit about you got 5 down. You got 2 to go.
Yep.
I know you got a lot of cooks. What's your game plan for this year? I mean, are you going to cook any championship you can get to? I'm sure right now you're focused on nothing but state champions.
It needs to quit trying. It worked out for him this last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this weekend we're going up to Dakota, up there at the Lone Star, and our week froze up again.
You're good. You're good.
Okay. So we're going up to Dakota, and we're gonna do that event up there. Then we're gonna come home. I plan on going out to Florida. There's a couple of KCBSs out there that we're going to hit. We're going to focus a lot this year on KCBS because, of course, we signed with Pit Boss, so we have a big Pit Boss schedule that we're going to be running this year. And then, of course, Shell's coming back this year, so we're going to be doing a big Shell one. So when we do those Shell events, those are always up kind of probably mid, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois. So.
Right.
We're going to hit probably 10 or 15 of those this year. And we're going to go to Memphis in May this year. We're going we've got
cool.
We've got Arkansas. We've got a huge schedule this year. And in between those events, we're going to hit KCBS. And man, just it's what I call is, man, I'm tired of, you can only beat a horse, a dead horse is whatever. But man, I want to, we were the first CBA team to win it twice. We were the first team of the year twice in ribs. So it's we want to go do some KCBS. We're going to travel this year, and with the schedule the way it is with Shell and with everybody, we're going to be able to push a lot more events and get out there and cook a lot more and start traveling again like we used to before COVID.
Okay. So Robert, you've cooked every major dance floor there is, and you've won almost every one of them as well. Is there anything that you haven't done that we need to know about that your eyes are set on?
Well, I'd like to go to Australia and cook in Australia. I think we're gonna travel. We're gonna try and hit more international events this year and next year. We want to go to Italy. We want to go to Europe. We want to go. We want to do a lot more international cooks. And like I said, it's I'm getting on up there in age. I'm almost 50. And it's eventually I'm going to have to stop doing what I'm doing, and I'm going to have to get a real job.
Yeah. No, hey, real quick, Robert, the Chicken Frieds podcast got canceled tonight, didn't it?
Yes, correct.
Okay, that's what I thought. So Chicken Fried's not going to be on tonight. I've seen a few people dropping off. He's really, really sick. Let's keep Bill in our prayers. Monkey and Carissa both got the flu, so a lot of sick people came from it. I just wanted to make sure because I would have got you off a little earlier, but I was like, I needed to verify it one more time.
Yeah,
that's really cool that you're.
There was a whole lot of people kissing and hugging at Humble, and
that's for sure. I know one of the things you brought up, you talking about you want to go to Italy and cook and stuff like that, and I will tell you, Barbecue Champs has been selling a lot of classes in Italy and the UK, and I think Robert, you sold. I'll go look real quick while you're talking, but I'm pretty sure somebody bought your class this week or yesterday and today, and I'll look it up real quick.
We have a free stay in Naples if you want to go. My first cousin, retired Coast Guard. He works out there.
I got passport. Darian.
So we can stay in Naples for free.
Yeah, so I actually had the guys from New Zealand. The guys from New Zealand actually came over, and there was a group of probably 10 or 15 of them that I did a little kind of just an in-person little class, and it wasn't even really a class. We just kind of they drink a lot, and so we just basically shot the shit and talked a little bit about our meat compared to their meat and what they talk about, because they got a lot of funny ass words for everything.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
We've had some guys in Rome buy our classes over there. They've been talking about it. They're really firing up. They've been buying a bunch of grills and stuff like that. So they've all been kind of, I think the Rome section over there especially has been kind of blowing up where they're getting ready, geared up to do some cooks.
So, Robert, you sold a class today, or you sold a class 2 days ago to a guy in the UK, and he called me today and he said, I want to get the second class. So he bought another class from you. He bought a brisket class and he bought your chicken class, and he's from the UK. And he's bought classes from the other pitmasters. So it just goes to show, I mean, it's really kind of this barbecue stuff is starting to expand across the globe. I know when I was at the Jack this last year, I think there was 22 international teams. And I was blown away at some like Austria and Australia and the Netherlands and Panama and I mean, Mexico and Canada and Belgium and Sweden and like places I like, man, I didn't even know y'all cooked there. Italy.
Hey,
so
them dudes will get you sometimes, because I was we were at the Jack, I think it was last year. I guess it was last year maybe. Anyway, there was a gentleman walked up to me and he said, Robert, you mind if I see your brisket? And I said, sure. I said, I got a real good one. This is an A9, bad dude. And I pulled it out, and he was like, Robert, that's like, we use that for chili meat. Let me go over and show you.
Oh, gosh. Are you serious?
Sure did. He walked over there and pulled something out that looked just like it just looked like butter. That was all it looked. I mean, it was just, he's like, yeah. He said, those briskets you guys here in Texas and here in the United States, he said, we use that for chili meat.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy.
That Australian Wagyu is just that's something else, man.
They whatever they don't want, they ship to us.
Wow, that's crazy.
But
wow,
like I said, it's barbecue all started. And I know barbecue all started sitting around. Two guys sitting around a fire, having a couple of cold beers and enjoying yourselves. And, then they started like, well, my hamburger's better than your hamburger. My chicken's better than your chicken. And then it became a contest where then all the neighbors came over there. So it's like I said, it's just all we do now is I tell everybody, I have so many people that we meet traveling and everything. You're a barbecue contest guy? And I was like, yeah. I said, but man, all I am is a glorified mover. And I go camping a lot.
A lot. I love that. I'm a glorified move and camping. That's awesome.
We're the only guys that can move into a spot, a 40 by 40, and set up a town.
You're right.
So we love to go camping, don't we, Robert?
Yeah.
And we go and we'll set up that 40 by 40 spot, and we're gonna pull out our barbecue pits and we're gonna barbecue, and then we're going to turn it into a bunch of old ladies and a bunch of old men up there that are going to give us 9 kinds of hell because we We didn't cook it.
Right. That is hilarious. I love that. I love it.
But the best thing is every weekend we all go camping.
That's it. I never looked at it like that. We're all in a dead-gum parking lot camping, burning meat in the parking lot. So it don't get no better than that. It don't get no better.
If you start thinking about how much money you spend to go barbecuing, it's a whole lot easier to tell everybody you're going camping spending that.
Yeah, I like that analogy. I like that a lot.
Because on some of us, our rigs just keep getting bigger.
Yeah.
Bigger. And bigger. And our trucks get bigger and longer. And then next thing you know, we've got 45-foot rolling down the road in a $100,000 truck.
You're right. We're going camping.
We're going camping.
Right,
you're going camping. You gotta have a good truck and a good trailer. I've never looked at it like that.
Here's the best thing, because you got trailer parks, RV parks, right? And you got that couple that's sitting out there and they're just chilling. They're in the chairs, they're having a cold drink, beverage, whatever. And then and they got their little 36-foot bumper pool, and they got 2 slide outs. And here comes that guy like Mike. He's got that Taj Mahal on triple axle, and he's got 15 slide outs, and then the top pops up, it's like 20 foot tall, and then the guy just backs it on up in there. They're like, holy cow. You got a guy in a little pop-up tent, and you got like me and Robert and Lee. We just kind of roll it in, Mike. We just roll in that trailer, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this guy! It just keeps going. The trailer just keeps going. It never stops." So,
it's hilarious. Some of the looks you get on these people, I'm sure it's. Oh gosh, it's hilarious.
Don't forget, Brian and Ellen are in the Eastern time zone. So.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I don't want to. Are y'all good over there? Y'all good? Okay. Man,
I found out if Robert's got the Atlanta BBQ Store Classic on his schedule for this year with all the cooking all over the place.
I didn't hear Georgia mentioned.
I mean, there you go.
Yeah, come on, Robert. You got to get up there and represent Texas.
Like I said, we've got to get out there and cook you guys' event. Man, it's the cook-offs out that way, kind of fell off. There used to be a lot of them in Georgia, a lot of them in Mississippi, and of course, I'd run over there and see Brad at the shed, and we'd hang out and everything. We'd run and do a couple of contests out there. And BCA had one over there in, I think, Mobile.
Yep.
And my wife, we actually went and did that contest. We went to Bunkie, and
then Bunkie?
Then went to Mobile.
Yep, y'all went over there. Sure did.
Like I said,
I'm on a beach.
I'd really like to see those contests start coming back over there, and because. Man, anything I go east or west. If I go west, it's going to take me 8 hours to get the hell out of Texas.
Oh, wow. 8 hours my ass.
Yeah, you live on the
hold on a minute. 8 hours, not even Midland, Texas yet. Come on.
Yeah, he's so far in West Texas, it takes him 10, 12 hours just to get out of Texas.
So guess what?
Fair, man.
I go east, if I go toward like Georgia and Mississippi, I can be over there in 6 hours. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
We'll
get
your prime spot. We'll take care of it.
Louisiana,
I love it.
Florida to Georgia. I can't make those trips because it takes me too long to get across. Plus, I have to take 3 days off just to get over there.
Just to get across Texas.
If I want to go to Bullhead, Syria, Arizona, like I did last year, it's 14 hours. Boom, I was done.
Yeah.
Yep. See there.
That's hilarious.
But like I said,
gosh,
and I think really do like the barbecue store. I'm sorry, the Atlanta BBQ Store. You guys supplying products to these guys. We've made it. You guys have made it easier for everybody to be a competitor. Everybody to enjoy barbecue. And these guys in the UK and the guys in Australia and everything like that, they probably don't have the stores like the Atlanta BBQ. They don't have these stores. So
right.
Being involved in making that kind of social deal to where they can call and they can say, hey man, what's this guy using? Well, you're probably not going to tell them, but you're going to get it damn close. So guess what? Now, man, they're gonna enjoy barbecue and have a whole lot of fun. And I don't know, I know Aaron and I know Lee, and of course you too, Mike. If we teach somebody how to cook barbecue or just show them a few things, man, it sure is damn fun watching them some of the guns walk.
Yeah.
If we as competitors beat the shit out of every damn person every damn weekend, our competition circuit is going to get real fucking small.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
So the more people that we help coming in to doing barbecue and help them guys understand competition barbecue, that we're going camping and we're
Yeah,
going
we're going camping. Yeah,
you
I
know,
like that.
That's a big thing.
It helps everybody in a whole. Now everybody's calling the Atlanta BBQ Store, and they're buying seasonings and they're buying stores. They're calling, they're calling Mike, and they're getting barbecue champs. And so, every time that you can stop and you have a person that walks up to you that's maybe not even a competitor, maybe this just walked up out there and he's at his first competition, and he walks up and he wants to talk to you, you better stop and talk to him, because if you don't, our jobs are going to get real short, and we'll fade away. I mean,
so that's something that we've really taken pride in at our contest. We've seen that the big, like, as y'all were talking about the big rigs. Well, the bigger the rig, the more comfortable it is to stay in your rig, and the more comfortable it is not to get out and talk to other people and just get comfortable in your own clique.
Right.
So what we've done at our contest, and a lot of the contests we go to, Friday night we do a big huge potluck. We invite the judges that are there. We invite the judges in. We invite all the volunteers there, the cooks there, and we really want to have that family feeling. And I mean, I'm telling you, you talk about a spread of food.
Oh yeah.
It is amazing. And you get 100 teams coming in together. I know that's not big for y'all, but 100 teams out there on the East Coast, that's big, right? And you get everybody coming in there eating together and socializing. And then we all look at judges as they're these evil people that think that our perfectly cooked meat, that we've never made bad meat. I don't think any of us have ever cooked bad meat. Judges just can't score, right?
Right.
Yeah.
When you sit down there and you talk to them all, you're like, wait a second, they have as much of a passion for this as we do. And it's just as interesting to hear the judges' side of it and the cooks and everything else. So, I mean, we really pushed the Friday night potluck. Just so, the first time we did it, we didn't invite the judges. And then I was like, man, we need to do something to get the judges involved in this also, because there is just as a big part of the contest.
Yeah. Without them, you don't have a competition. So
we're limited to the amount of teams that we can get based off the amount of judges that we can get to our contest.
Wow.
That's
when you were talking about the classes, and Robert made a point, to say that, even though you may not do as good today, the guy that that took your class, he was walking, but I sat in my chair one time for all 4 calls. It wasn't 4 calls, it was a 3-meet contest. And so I sat in my chair one day, and Paul looked over at me and he said, "Aaron, don't be upset." I said, "I'm not upset, man. It's a kick in the ball sometimes when you don't get up and walk. And every now and then we're going to go through those spells where that does happen. I mean, we're going to go through those points because we don't travel in a certain area. We travel the whole state. So the whole state is different. And sometimes it just wasn't your day in this town versus that town. But look, how many did you say? I had 9 guys, that took my class that all just got through walking, and those guys come to talk to you. So sometimes you put on the face, you say, okay, you swallow your pride a little bit. But that's where the classes that you put on, it allows the guys who did take your class, they did get a walk, or they got 2, or they won it, and then they beat you, and they get to say, hey, I beat Aaron Lester, I beat Robert Smith, or I beat Lee Hickle,
Right.
And to them, that's huge. And to me, that's huge. So sometimes, even though we try our hardest every weekend and it wasn't our day, the guys that come through the Barbecue Champs Academy and that take our classes, those guys are going out there and pounding the ground too, and they did good, and that's accomplishments to us, and that makes us feel better at the end of the day. So that's what Barbecue Champs does to a lot of people, and in our classes and our pride, kind of helps us out a little bit.
Yeah,
it turns a bad day into a better day.
It does. And Robert, I mean, we talked about it when we was filming your class, Robert, that you had so many of the people that was taking your class that was kicking your butt that you had to come up with something different because you couldn't beat them no more.
Yep.
I mean, you had, hundreds of people that had done bought your class, and you're out competing against them every weekend. And, man, the thing is with Barbecue Champs, you can watch these classes over and over and over and over. You're not going to miss nothing. You're going to cook it exactly like he does. Yep. And, man, all of a sudden, it makes it pretty deadgum hard to go out and compete with them. So Robert was like, I got to get a new motor. And he did. So let's see what we got. I do admit Barbecue Champs has helped me walk at least once every single comp since 2023. Wow. Thank you, David. There you go. I mean, that's the power of them. I mean, people like, what do you sell a lot? Man, we sell a lot of classes. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of classes out there, people, and I'm just about to tell you, it's just done got to a point to where I just think it's getting so hard that these guys have taken so many classes. And I've got a guy on here that he bought 4 all access classes last month.
Yeah.
And he bought your class in the last in January. He bought Aaron's class. He bought Robert's class. He bought Craig Sherry's class. He bought Joey Smith's class. I know he's bought 5 other classes. I think he's bought every barbecue pitmaster class we have, and he buys the all access class.
That's just
Man,
knowledge.
that's knowledge.
I mean,
You know, it's just knowledge. I mean, it's
and
100%.
Sometimes you have to go back in the past to bring the future back to the front.
Yeah,
You
you're
gotta go
right.
back and
That's
start over.
yeah, you're exactly right.
went
You're
up
100%.
I went up and took Timmy's class. I went up and took Timmy's class in up in Missouri, and man, I'm sitting down and it's me, Travis, of course back then Boomerang. You know, I'm sitting in a room with Fergie, everybody. We're all sitting in there looking around at each other, and I'm like, "What in the hell are you doing here?" And he's like, "Man, what are you doing here?"
Trying to
I'm
one
like,
up
"Well,
you.
Yeah, here we go. You know,
Yeah.
Travis told me something, you know, years ago. He was like, you know, I used to be an electrician. He said, well, as an electrician, he said, I took lots and lots of classes. He said, I would take a class a month. He said, why is barbecue any damn different?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He said, if the class is there, go take it. It's
Right.
just knowledge. You know, close your mouth, open your damn ears, and you're going to go a long ways in life.
Yeah. That's true. That's so
There's
true.
something to take in a class where you can go back and rewatch it. You know, that's invaluable.
That's the thing. I mean, because you're going to go to an in-person class and you're going to do good to retain maybe 50% of that class, maybe at best. Because I've had people tell me, and I had one guy said, man, I went with 3 of my buddies after the class. We all went to a little diner to go eat, and we were all comparing notes, and we all had different notes. And hell, we was sitting there arguing which one was right, and we all took notes. And hell, by the time we got done, we were so confused we didn't know whose was right. And he said, then we buy your class and we don't miss nothing. It's 3 cameras. You don't miss a thing. It's all there. And you can see every single thing. And I come across as a dumb butt. I'm asking these guys questions like, man, I mean, they're looking at me like, man, you know that. Why are you asking that? Because there may be somebody that's taking a class for the first time that doesn't know nothing. So
Right.
I'm trying to get that information out of them. So,
But,
that's the thing. So
I hate to run everybody off or run, but I do have to go back to the restaurant and finish.
okay,
making-
brother, you go
And
You
get
ain't
that
the only one.
stuff.
You're not
You go
the
get
only
that.
one.
Guys, like I said, if anybody watching or anything like that, hey, go get the dumps. They work good. Well, I want to get with you guys over at the Atlanta BBQ Store. You guys are you know, first class, and I'd really like to be involved with you guys. And Aaron, Leslie, I'll see you guys this weekend. And
You got it, man.
y'all guys have
Yep.
fun. Mike, be
Yep.
good.
Yep.
And,
Y'all take
love
care.
y'all.
Love you, Robert. You be good.
Adios, bro.
So I just pulled up Robert's class. Here it is. It's at barbecuechamps.com. Right on the homepage, you can click. It'll see Robert Smith. It is his brand
That
new
is not his
2025.
updated picture. That is the old one. It's
Well,
got
that's
to
the
be.
old picture. We did updated everything except the picture. it was too good of a picture.
10
So
years ago.
yeah, it was too good of a picture. So anyway, all new videos, all new everything, and brisket, rib, pork, chicken, and he did chicken legs also. So everything is there, and man, it's an awesome class. I mean, we've seen a lot of people that have already taken the class has done well. We've seen results right off the get-go with people that went to his class that did well. So if you're looking for something to step up, you know, we've got some great stuff. Aaron, Lee, Robert, I mean, and the whole host. I don't even want to try to name all of them because I've got so dang many of them on there I can't name them. So go look
That
at
was
them.
the whole thing, is that the class came out, and mine did, what, 23 of July. And then all
Right.
of a sudden, it's like, but I'm on this run already, 23, 24 grands and reserves for 23. And it's like I'm at 24, you know, with grands and reserves. And it's like all of a sudden, the guys started paying attention, and they started really going back and watching. And then all of a sudden, it's like my rib call went down a few notches, you know. And then all of a sudden, my brisket started falling back a little bit. But I was still in the top 10. I just wasn't in the top 3 or 5 like I wanted to. And then all of a sudden,
Right.
hey, I took your class. So now you got 9 guys on the table,
Yeah.
the top 10 that have the same profile. So
Exactly.
you're trying to figure out, okay, well, I just cook it better than you. I have to cook it better than you, you know. So
Right.
you don't struggle. You just have to focus to try to stay in line. Then all of a sudden, it finally breaks to where you kind of pushed out a little bit. It's okay. Wait a second. Now, what am I doing wrong? Am I
Right.
trying too hard?
Yeah.
So you go back, and so you bring chicken back in there, then you bring brisket back in there, you bring ribs and pork, and it's like you're trying to hit it, but you sometimes you're your hardest critic, so you try too hard to
Right.
overcompensate.
And then
You
you're out.
got to have fun.
Yep,
That's the main
that's
thing.
it.
You just got to have fun.
Yep.
I like what David does. He's like, it's not just the recipes, the techniques each of these guys have on Champs is Wild, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
the process is what matters, right? Like the
Yeah.
process and the tenderness is what matters.
Yeah.
We have hundreds of rubs and sauces and injections. You can use anything that's in our store. You can
Yeah.
buy those products and win with them.
It's 100%. It's not
It's
the
the
recipes.
process.
It's the techniques that wins it.
And that's why I think this is great, because there's so many times that people get away from the processes and they chase flavor profiles.
Yeah.
And generally everybody I know that's a good cook will go like, I'm going back to what I did when I was doing this. And it wasn't necessarily the recipes. It was always the process of getting back to a process.
Yep.
And that's what's invaluable with your classes, Mike. And
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
you'll see, like, there's a lot of people that have different processes. So maybe a process that works for one
Right.
is much different than somebody else. So like
Right.
at our class, when Brian taught pork, he had lots of people come up and say, hey, I love that you had these world-class people in there, but to have you, this is how I cook.
Well, I'm a
more
dumpster
like
fire.
you.
It's a dumpster fire.
I mean,
They're like, I don't know if he's going to have any pork left after he does all the trimming. They were getting a little bit worried they weren't going to have anything to sample after he did his trim job.
But I mean, Lee, you know how it is. I mean, like, everybody's different. Everybody, like, we had Robert with Smoke Me Silly and Rooters and Tutors. They're Hall of Famers, and they're like measuring stuff, and they're all over the place. I'm over there like, yeah, whatever.
All of Brian's measurements are in his head.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
My recipes are in my head. Right? So when I go to the cook-off, what sucks for me is when I pull up and people start coming to my trailer wanting to talk, and I'm trying to put my injections together because I don't have time to do mine at home. The restaurant keeps me busy, right? So I'm trying to battle 3 irons in a fire every day. It's the restaurant, and it's the seasoning company, and it's going to compete at the same time. You're trying to get it done, and I'll get there and all of a sudden be like, oh, did I put that in there? Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, I'll taste it. Like, I don't, so sometimes I'll just go dump it out because I bought not back up for 2. So I think
always
we get
buy
so
new.
busy.
Always buy new.
I think we always get busy.
That's
that we
it.
forget sometimes. And you got to get in a rush. And if you slow down, so I'll shut my trailer door and just say, okay, I'll be out in a little bit, guys. Do my stuff. But so it's very difficult because you can get sidetracked very, very easily when people want to talk and associate and everything else. So
No doubt.
That's what I got away from this last couple of years is trying to get ahead of schedule and build it when I'm comfortable at the house or in my own private setting versus trying to do it when I first show up at 6 or 7 o'clock at night. So
absolutely.
You just kind of lose your process. So I went back to my process and started thinking, what am I doing wrong? So San Antonio Rodeo, that's what I did. I said, okay, wait a second. What am I missing? What am I missing? In the top 26, all 3 of the 21 to 26 calls, which is good for me. I had 300 plus. So I know that my process was good. I just went back I didn't go back to the drawing board. I just went back to what I did. And I just remembered, oh, wait a second. Oh, man, you're a dumbass. And I just got to do my thing, So it's kind of we get sidetracked, but we also get in a rush trying to get out there and hurry up and get it done.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. No doubt, And David was sitting up there and he was like, Aaron's class was crazy information that I still use every day. I'll tell you what, Aaron's and Lee's and a couple other ones that I remember, they were like, Robert's was very technical, very, very, very technical class, not just a recipe, a lot of technical stuff. And that I remember Corey Mike's was a very technical class. I can't remember all of them because I only watch these things one time in editing. I don't ever see them again. But I'm just going by when we were doing the class. I just remember it was a lot of technical information, and that's what wins the competitions is the techniques and stuff. Well, guys, look, I know y'all got to go to bed. Brian and Ellen, thank y'all so much for being here tonight. I appreciate y'all being on with us. Lee, Aaron, thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Guys.
And I hope everybody's enjoyed our podcast. We went over about 25 minutes. I normally never do this, but we've had a lot of good discussion going on tonight, so we kept it rolling. And I hope everybody is going to have a great week. Man, it's beautiful weather down here in Louisiana. It's going to be cold again probably next week, but that's just the way it is. So Lee, Aaron, Brian, Ellen, thank y'all so much for being here. All of our guests, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And Lord willing, we'll be back next Tuesday night, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. As we always say, y'all go out there